Hello, good afternoon. Lovely to see you guys here on Wednesday. So I hope you've all had a great Easter. And I know some of you will be off at the moment this week doing your stuff. We're talking today about reviews. And I mentioned yesterday that I had added like a little widget to my website that was so quick and easy to do. And so I wanted to talk you through how you can go ahead and do it and show you exactly how to do it as well. A couple of people were asking about Google reviews and how you get them, and are they different from Facebook reviews, and where should you actually be asking for reviews? So there's a few different pools of thought on this. I actually like asking for people to just leave them wherever they feel comfortable. So some people use Facebook, some people use LinkedIn, some people don't use either of those platforms. And so the natural place for them to go is to Google, or some people would just prefer to email you a review. All of those are absolutely fine. But if you are wanting people to leave you reviews on those platforms, you need to give them the links. Don't make them go and hunt for your profile and then figure out where they should leave them. So you need to actually give them the specific link. And if you have a profile on the likes of Google or LinkedIn or Facebook, any of these, you can easily pull out the link to just send to people. So that's the first thing. The other thing is to just think about where you can actually ask for reviews, because there's loads of places that you can ask for them. So obviously in person, if you're having a conversation with someone and they say that they're really pleased with the way the program is running or the services that you're offering, then you can just say to them, do you know what, it would be really great if you could put down a few words in an email or on my Google profile, and just words to that effect. You can do that over the phone. You can also ask through your website or via email. So if people have just finished a course or they've just wrapped up some kind of one-to-one service with you, you can always ask them for them. You can follow up with an email. You can ask on social media. So you could do, if you have a Facebook community, for example, or you have a group where maybe people have just run through a Facebook a challenge in a Facebook group. And at the end of that challenge, you could then ask them for a review. You could ask them on your thank you pages when they've actually signed up to something. You could ask for them on your invoices and receipts. There's so many places that you can actually ask for reviews. So don't be afraid to kind of think outside the box a little bit with how you're actually going to ask for reviews. And most people actually like giving their opinion. So a lot of people feel like hesitant. They feel like it's really self-serving and they feel like they shouldn't be asking. But actually, most people want to give their opinion on something. And my mindset, particularly at the moment, is, we're very fast to give bad feedback. If you've had a bad meal or you've had a bad experience at a hotel or something like that, we're very quick to criticize. And we all know that those kind of negative comments can gather speed really fast. But actually, people seem less inclined to really comment on good service. And so if we can nudge people to do that, usually they're really willing to. It's just that they didn't think about doing it. So if you are starting to gather some testimonials and reviews over on Google or wherever it is, it's a really great idea for you to capitalize on them, because actually research shows that when people are looking at reviews or looking at working with you, 84% of consumers will trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And that's why, if you saw my post yesterday, I was saying that people like Trustpilot are really, really clamping down now on fake reviews because they're so valuable. And so there's this entire industry that's starting to emerge around enabling people to pay for fake reviews. And it's just I'm so happy to hear that people are really coming down hard on that, because we want to make sure that when we're reading reviews as consumers, that they're actually genuine and then they're not ones that have been bought. And if you look at some of the statistics around it, like someone like Yelp will say that every 1-star increase in your reviews could lead to a 5 to 9% increase in revenue, which is massive. That's massive. Okay, so let's dive into the actual logistics of how you get these on there. Hi, Jackie, lovely to see you. Do hop on and just say hi. Let me know actually in the comments. do you actively collect reviews from your clients? And if someone says, oh, I've loved working with you, do you feel uncomfortable saying to them, do you know what, that would be really great, could I use that as a testimonial? Because that's one of the things that we really need to shift in terms of our mindset to make sure that we are capable of asking for that kind of positive feedback. So just let me know, just say yes if you do ask for reviews, and just say no if it's something that you actually feel quite uncomfortable with. Takes a moment for StreamYard to catch up with any of those comments. I will hop over into the screen that I've got open here, and I'll come back to the comments afterwards. Oh, I can see somebody has commented. I can't see your name, I'm afraid. I ask if they're really enthusiastic, but I'm a little nervous in case they don't want to give a good review. Is this just my own insecurity? What's the worst thing that can happen? It's like, I think that is down to insecurity. And especially if someone has said that they've enjoyed working with you, at that point, it's a really perfect opportunity for you to say, do you know what, it would be really, really useful for me if other people were able to learn about your experience. Would you be happy to write a review for me? Someone else is saying, not yet. Again, I can't see your name. Sorry about that. Jackie, I can see your name. Okay, right. There's one other. I've only collected a couple from people I already know. Going to plan, setting up a review system into my Q2. This is a great session, Vicky. I'm so pleased that it's useful, and that's great to have it planned out, that this is something that you're going to work on. Jackie says, is it acceptable to add a screenshot of testimonies onto your website page? Comments from people on my social media posts? Absolutely, 100%. It's in like a public forum. If it's on social media, it's in a public forum. I used to always like fade out the name, and I sometimes still do if I haven't asked them. So Jackie, for you, for example, if you were to post something about one of the workshops that you've been on, I might reach out to you and say, thank you so much for the lovely comment that you put on my post. Would you mind if I took a screenshot of it as a testimonial and put it onto my website? And if you said yes, then I would leave in your details. If I hadn't reached out to you, or if I hadn't heard back from you, then I would just blur out your details so that people didn't know who it was from. But yeah, absolutely, screenshots. And in fact, screenshots, I think, are more powerful than those really pretty testimonials that we see where people copy and paste them in, because they're real. There's like, you don't, well, I guess you could, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could fake those kind of comments and then take a screenshot of them. But generally, those are, you can tell that they are genuine. And whereas with a copy and paste, if someone sends you a testimony by email, you can copy and paste it and reword it and tweak it, or like completely make it up. Please don't ever do that. But the thing is that they're more malleable in terms of we can manipulate them more. And so those screenshots can't be manipulated. Right, I am heading over. So I can't see your comments whilst I'm over in the other screen, but I will keep coming back. So I have got my test site open over here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to plugins. So this, I'm showing you how to do this on a WordPress website. So if you're on Squarespace or Wix, I'm sure they will have something similar. So you can go ahead and look for them if you have the capacity within your platform to use any kind of widget. So under plugins, we can click on add new. And then here we can search for Google reviews. And when we search for that, it brings up this one by Trust Index. This is the one that I use. There's plenty of others. You can explore those as well. Remember, when we are looking at installing plugins, do make sure that they've got a good number of active installations. This has got 200,000. It's got a good number of 5-star reviews. It's been updated reasonably recently, and it's compatible with the latest version of WordPress. So once you're happy that it looks reliable, you can go ahead and click on install. And once it's installed, then we activate it. So we can have install plugins that are dormant on our website, but they need to be active in order for us to use them. So once we've activated that, you're going to see it down here, and it then shows up down here on the left-hand side. So we can click into this Trust Index area here, and now it's asking for us to connect to the Google platform. And I'm not sure if you'll see this pop up, but it's just popped up a screen for me, and it asks me to type in the Google business profile name or location. So I've just typed in the website mentor, and it brings up my listing, and then I can just click on connect. And so once that has done its stuff and it's connected, it then just pulls in the reviews for me. So let's so now it shows me the reviews, and it says that I can go ahead and I can select a layout, and it's giving me all the layouts. But if there's a particular kind that you want, you can just go ahead and select from any of these filters. So if you wanted a slider, you could click on that. If you wanted a grid or a badge, you can. But I'll just stay with all, and then I'll just scroll through and you can see, and some of them are only like, there's not much difference between a lot of them, but you can see it gives you a really, really good combination of layouts. This is the one that I think I took a screenshot of I think this is the one that I added to my website. So it gives you a summary of like how many stars you've got based on however many reviews you have. And then people can actually start scrolling through the actual reviews if they want to read any of them. So I quite like this layout. This one, again, it's the same kind of layout, but with it on top. So there's so many that you could choose from. And of course, you could switch and change. So once you've seen, and this, by the way, I don't love this kind of listing. I kind of like that carousel, even though I'm not crazy about carousels on a website, because it means that people have to engage with that widget, with that kind of feature, in order to see all the content. But it's nice and compact. So it's not going to have a massive impact on your layout on your website, and it's not going to take up a huge amount of space. Whereas this one will. So if you had, let's say you had a testimonials page on your website, this would be the place that you could put something like that. But if you're just wanting to have a kind of snapshot widget on your homepage or in your footer, then I definitely wouldn't go for a really, really long list like this. This has got a grid layout. Again, that's the kind of thing that I would put on a testimonials page rather than on a homepage or one of your other key pages. These you can have them in a sidebar. So there's loads and loads of options that you can look at. So you can flick through all of these. I'm just going to choose one to show you how we can go ahead and embed it in the actual website itself. So if I choose one of these, I'm going to go for, I'll just choose the top one. So if I click on select, once I've selected it, I then get more configuration options of how I actually want it to look. So we'll give it a second to load. So now we can select the style. So I've selected the kind of the layout of it. And now you can see this one's got gray background. This one's got a lighter gray background. This one's got a border and so on. So we can just choose whichever one we want and then run with it. So again, I'm just going to go with the top one just for ease. So I'm going to hit select. And once it's loaded this, we can then, it gives us a preview of the widget. And now we can set up some of the settings. So we can choose a date format. So at the moment, this is a kind of American date format. So I would just choose to change the date format. You can choose how you want the text to be aligned. So at the moment, it's left aligned. If you wanted it centered, you could. You can filter your rating. So you could just say, I only want to show the 5-star reviews. So you could do that. And you can choose what that review text is is actually what it's going to be. So at the moment, it's just as read more. So you can also choose to toggle any of these options on or off. So things like show the reviewer's photo, etc. So have a look through these, see what's going to work best for you. And then once you're happy with it, you can click on save, and it's going to give us an embed code. So with Divi, an embed code like this is a short code. And it's really, really easy for us to add it. And I'll show you exactly how now. So if I go ahead and click on copy to clipboard, and then I go to a page on my website, so I can click on to all pages. This is just a test website that I've got at the moment. Let's just go to a test page that I've got going on at the moment. So if I click on to edit with Divi, so in here, we can come in and we can find a place where we want to add it. So let's say I want to just add it under this section here. So I go ahead, I can add a new section. I click on regular. I'm going to add a full width row. And in here, I'm going to add a code module. So I click onto code. And then this is where I just paste that shortcode that I just added. And once I click on the green tick, then we can see that it shows up. And then once you've done that, you go ahead, click on the purple dot, you save as draft or you publish it. And that's it, it's in. And it means that every time someone adds new reviews onto your Google profile, they will show up here. So it will dynamically populate on your website. And that is that straightforward. So let me come back and see if we've got any more questions. I'll stop that screen share for a second. All right. Let's just see, Jackie, there's a plugin for everything. There really is a plugin for everything. There's very little that you can't find a plugin for. And with that, sorry, I've got a real frog in my throat. Just keep in mind that although there is a plugin for everything, we can get carried away having a lot of fun with plugins, and not all plugins are made equal. So some plugins, excuse me, are very, what I would call heavy. So they can slow down your page speed. And people often say to me, how many plugins is a good amount of plugins to have on your website? And really the realistic answer to that is as few as possible. But there are definite plugins that you want to have on your site. And you could have 20 really slick, fast, good, well-coded plugins that could keep your website running at lightning speed. And you could have one really bloated, poorly coded plugin that would slow everything down. So when I say all plugins are not made equal, that's what I mean. That, you know, you could have 20 good ones and it won't have any impact, negative impact on the speed or performance of your website. You can have one bad one and it could like grind everything to a halt. So just be conscious when you are installing plugins that you don't go plugin happy. I had a client once and she got really excited about plugins, and at Christmas she would have like falling snow on her website and it was all really, really fun stuff. But it started to really, really slow her website down because she got really excited about them. And then she didn't remove them when she wasn't using them anymore. She might try out a plugin and then not take it off if she had decided not to use it. And so she ended up with like loads and loads of plugins, and it can start to slow stuff down. So Karen says, wonderfully easy. Yeah, love it. Love it when things are so easy like that. Jackie says, is this slider plugin for testimonials your exception to avoiding sliders and carousels on your website? Yes, it is. So I figure that's why I like the badge element of the one that I chose, because people don't have to interact with it to see at a glance. Okay, there's 93 reviews on there. They're all 5-star reviews. And if I want to flip through some of them, then I can. But at a glance, they can see that summary. And so that's why I don't mind it with this. But generally with carousels, I don't love them especially if it's really important information for you to portray. So like those header carousels that we often see, those like sliders with the beautiful images that we sometimes see, there's a time and a place for them. So if you are an interior designer or a bathroom designer or an artist of some kind, then it might be that you want people to be able to see those. But generally as consumers and browsers on an internet, on a website, you're not going to want to sit and just wait for the images to scroll around for you to see them. And you may not know to click on the little arrow to scroll through them. So if there's headline text on each of those images, which you really need your visitors to your website to see, it might just never get seen, or it might get lost, or it's just, so that's why I don't love carousels that really rely on a user engagement to click through the content. But yeah, with something like this where you can get a snapshot of it, I think it's absolutely fine. And with that being said and done, if any of you are on here and have ever had any value from the work that we have done together, if we work together, or just from the WordPress Happy community, of course, I would love a review over on Google Reviews. I've got 93. I'd love to hit 3 figures over there. And one of the reasons why I do love Google is like I shared with a few of you, I'm not sure any of you here, but my Facebook ad account was hacked last week, like really badly, like it's super, super stressful. I could see like £1,500 a day going out of my account and I couldn't stop it because they had taken over my account. I've managed to stop all of that. But the account is still in review, and there is a chance I might lose my Facebook page, which has nearly 100 reviews on it. So my Facebook page has 100 reviews on it. My Google has nearly 100 reviews on it. And if I lose my Facebook page, the thing that I will be most devastated about is losing those reviews, because you just can't, there's no way that you can easily get those back. And so that's one of the reasons why I love Google. The chances of you losing your Google account are much slimmer than you losing your Facebook account, which I'm seeing happening left, right, and center. I mean, literally, I was on a call with my mentoring group yesterday, and there's like 5 of us who have had that happen to us. And some people have never recovered their account again. And it's one of the reasons why we really shouldn't be relying too heavily on Facebook and Instagram for running our businesses, because like, we don't own these properties. And yes, we don't own Google. God, I wish we did. We don't own Google either. But I'm not seeing the amount of like scandal and hacking that goes on Google that there does on Facebook. I mean, and Facebook just literally they don't care. They sent me a message over the Easter weekend saying we've closed the case, because they can't be bothered to try and reinstate it for me. They can't be bothered to try and kick someone out who has is like just spending a lot of money that isn't their own. Okay, so Karen, you saw your own review as I scroll through them. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, so for those of you who have left me reviews, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, a huge thank you. Any of you who saw the post yesterday, you may have seen Julie's comment when she was considering joining Rock That website. And one of the things that really convinced her to join was she looked through my reviews, and that was enough for her to recognize that she really wanted to work with me. So she was kind of on the fence, decided she was going to go for it, especially because she saw a review from somebody that she knew who she didn't know had worked with me. And so those kind of things, that's really, really valuable. That's like, you know, that's an extra client. That's someone in my world who may not have ever ended up working with me if she hadn't seen those reviews. So those reviews are like your own little army of ambassadors for your company, and they're working for you 24/7. So it's really so powerful and so valuable for you to go out there and get some of those reviews. So Jackie, outrageous. I know, it's shocking. But that's, you know, these big social media giants, we are like these tiny, tiny specks of dust to them. They really, really don't care. Even if running Facebook ads is really instrumental to our business growth, doesn't mean a monkeys to them. All right, so Rosemary, good to see you. We're just wrapping up. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I will be back on Wednesday next week for another Website Wednesday. And thank you for all your positive feedback. I'm really pleased that that's been useful. Go ahead and gather some reviews and pop them on your website. Take care. See you next week.